listen into what he has to say, and then we'll come back and answer your questions.
For that acquisition through cash, but we paid for that acquisition through a much more expensive currency. We paid through our stock. And dilution to Sun Pharma shareholders was close to 20%. Kirti will present the details to you about both the companies, and you will see that Organon in terms of size is more or less the same as that of Sun Pharma. In terms of profitability is maybe even little bit higher than Sun Pharma. However, is at the transaction values Organon at less than 25% of the Sun valuation. So the key difference in my mind is the difference in our growth trajectory. Sun has been consistently growing and Organon has not been growing. So we know that for us to create value, the key driver is to find a way to grow this business much better than what it has been able to do. It will possibly require some investment, some focused effort to improving processes, and also many of the other tools that Kirti says we plan to use so that we can reignite the growth of the company. But what is more important for me is that it gives us a global presence. It gives us a ability to license products globally, also launch many of the products that we already have in our pipeline in many geographies that we are not currently present in, and those are interesting geographies. However, I think some of the concerns that people have expressed to me are related to large size of debt that we might have to raise to pay for the company. We will be, of course, using our own cash, but we will also have to raise some significant debt. So I think I want to remain objective. This debt, even though large in terms of overall size, it's still going to be 2.3 times the combined company EBITDA. And we have a focused effort towards finding a way to minimize the debt by finding a way to repay the debt as early as possible. I mean, all of you who've been tracking the company for a long time, you know that we've been either a low debt or maybe a significant cash positive company for a long time. And even the debt that we got as a result of Ranbaxy acquisition, we found a way to repay it in the shortest possible time. So that would be our effort, that would be our focus. But we will still have ability to do business development deals, and we will focus on investing our investable surplus into products which are close to market and products in therapy areas of our interest. The other important issue is the ability to repay the debt. I think Kirti and Jayashree will share with you what you call combined company cash flows and what is it that we can theoretically achieve. Other important issue is the dividends that we pay. We know that for investors, especially who invest in emerging market, dividend is one of the attraction for them to invest. So whatever decision that we will take for what to do with the future dividend policy, we will factor this preference and liking of our shareholders while we take a decision, and we will keep people informed. As on today, when we've done the cash flow calculations and our desire to repay the debt, I think we've kept a provision so that we will continue to have the dividend maintained. But I think greater clarity for all of you and also subsequently questions from you will help people understand the logic of the transaction and also why we see ability to create significant value for Sun shareholders as the time passes. So thank you.
Yeah. Good morning. And thank you for coming on such a short notice. Today I feel very excited and very proud. This is a historic day in Sun journey as we are accelerating the Sun's transformation toward becoming a global pharma company. I think in next 15-20 minutes I will try to explain you the deal rationales and what is a compelling story, why these two companies are coming together. And we'll also take some of your questions, some of your doubt. So that should also help you to understand the rationale behind acquisition of Organon. So there are initial few slides about Sun. I will run them through fast and then talk more about Organon. These are some disclaimers and forward-looking statements. So all of you know Sun well. We are like a $6 billion company present in 100 countries. We are number one in India. We are number one in another 2-3 geographies like Romania. And 20% of our business comes from innovation. So what we have been focusing for last few years is to increase the innovative part of the business. And then we have a strong balance sheet, $3 billion for cash as on FY25. So this is all about Sun. That is a business part. Second is, like you know, Sun is all driven by values of Sunology. We always focus on patients. I always look at how do we solve unmet needs of patients? How do we come with new product which will solve some of the patients' problems? And third thing which is important is the execution rigor. And Sun has been doing things well, executing it well, and that helps company to grow to the next level. If you look at our track record, which Dilip Bhai also mentioned, is acquisition of Taro, Ranbaxy. I think post-acquisition, we did well. We grew the business. We also integrated the team well on both the side. And the new Sun, which was formed, was growing faster than what we used to go earlier. This is a history of Sun, and these are not all the milestones, but major milestones is like, which includes the acquisition of the companies on the top, and on the bottom is some of the major licensing deals, what we have done. So 2010 around, we acquired Taro. Then, of course, DUSA was entry into dermatology. Then in 2015, Ranbaxy, which was also like same size of the company. We were 2 billion. Ranbaxy was also 2 billion at that point of time. And then Concert and Checkpoint acquisition happened recently. Incidentally, the Ilumya product, which we have licensed from Merck, was developed by Organon. So this is just a coincidence, like we are acquiring a company which developed this product historically a few years back. So what we have seen in last, say 15 years, if you can focus on the bottom part of the slide, is like from 2010 to 2025. Our CAGR of revenue is 14.4%, and the EBITDA is also in line, almost like 13%. So consistently, the objective for the business is to continuously grow the business, and sometimes some of the businesses are also growing faster than the market. What's Organon? And I will spend maybe a couple of minutes on this slide because earlier part was more on Sun. So Organon has 3 business verticals. One is a women's health. And women's health is mostly an innovative part of business. In women's health, in contraception, they are number 2. In fertility, they are number 3. So that's one part of the business. Next big part is the established product business, which is almost like 50%. And there are strong 50 brands. Some of the brands I will also show is like a household name. Every SCP, doctors, patient knows this brand. And out of these 50 brands, 15 brands, 15 brands are large size, and that is 100 million and above. What Organon also helps us is our entry into biosimilars. So we become like the number 7 players worldwide in biosimilars. I think the next point is most important is what I will keep repeating throughout my presentation is what Organon is giving to Sun is a global commercial presence and a global platform to commercialize our existing product as well as future products. And it also gives us entry in some of the markets where we are not present today. And one notable market is China. And I will talk about more details in China going forward. In terms of manufacturing footprint, Organon has 6 sites, 3 of them in the EU and 3 in the emerging market, and has a good manufacturing footprint where most of the product they are able to manufacture on their own. So this is a business part, but even if you look at financially, it's a very stable EBITDA company where the margins are in excess of 30% over last 5 years, and they are generating free cash flow of about $1 billion. And most important is the history of any company like Organon has a legacy of more than 100 years. And in these 100 years, they have developed complex products. They have developed complex biologics, like I said, Illumia. Like that, new biologics were also developed in Organon in the past. So all of these things, how does it help Sun to achieve our transition and go to the next level is what will follow in the next part of the presentation. So 3 parts of the business, women's health and some other innovative products. So the top 4 products are women's health product. The biggest product is Nexplanon, which is a contraception used for 5 years. Then we have product like Folistim, which is also into women's health fertility. Then there are 2 products. One is Imgality and Vitama. They are for say migraine, and Vitama is for dermatology. So this is almost like 33% of the current revenues of Organon. But more important is a central piece, which is established product. And some of you may be very familiar with some of these brand names like Zetia, Atozet, Hyzar, Kozar, Singular. These are like, though they are not like a consumer product, but they are recognized brands and well-known brands across the world, not only in India, but mostly outside India. This part of established brand contributes almost 55% of the business. And third area, which is also equally interesting, and I will explain you in more detail, is biosimilar. So currently they have 5-6 products in biosimilar, and that contributes around 11% of the revenues. So coming to all 3 areas, I will explain. Like women's health is a large unmet needs. So today the market size is almost like 35 billion, growing at 6 to 10%. And there are more than 100 opportunities or assets which are under development in women's health. So what I'm trying to say, for growth of the business on women's health side, we may have to do future licensing, and such assets are also available. And this is an area where the complexity of developing product is also very high. So for somebody to really replicate or come with a generic product is always has been challenging.
So that's the press conference on Sun Pharma acquiring Organon in all cash deal, and now definitely the portfolio